Hey Atlanteans, we're going to play a 1500 point custom scenario battle report. Basically, general overview, think of it as a last line of defense kind of scenario. The defender sets up in the middle of the board, the rampaging horde sets up on either side of him, and we'll explain objectives at the end, but basically it's just both sides are trying to kill the other. The defender is going to be IG. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 squads from my infantry platoon with a infantry platoon commander right there, and a heavy weapons squad right there. My company commander set up on top with the regimental banner. I have a recently unlooted Lehman Russ battle tank there, and one there. And then 2 Hellhounds right here. And in reserve, I have a Valkyrie Assault or Vulture, whatever the assault one is, with a squad of veterans inside. The attacker is being played by Victor over there.
Hello.
And his Tyranids. He's got in reserve a Doom of Malantai and a Spore Pod and some Young Garl Gene Stealers. And then a unit of warriors right here with a 20-man squad of Hormigons. And on this side he's got another 20-man Hormigont squad, another unit of warriors, a Hive Tyrant with wings, a Trigon Prime, and then another Hormigont squad right there. Real quick, just so you guys know, in this mission that we're playing, the attacker's troop choices, when they're completely destroyed, go into active reserve and can be rolled for like any normal squad. Defender goes first unless Victor can steal, which he doesn't with a 4. So we will be back at the end of IG turn 1. Okay, here we go. End of IG turn 1. Not a lot of movement really, other than my Hellhounds kind of rushed forward to get some shots off with their Inferno cannons. Other than that, everything stayed still. Company command squad issued his orders. He tried to do shoot on my target or whatever it is that gives twin link to this squad, but it didn't work. However, they shot and still managed to do 3 wounds to the warriors with their autocannon. He did get a successful order of first rank fire, second rank fire down here to this squad of infantry, who managed to peel, I think, 4 or 5 guys with their las guns and grenade launcher. This squad over here managed to peel another 3 or 4 guys, and then the Lehman Russ and the basically finished off the rest of the squad down to 2 remaining Griblies. Then on this side, between this unit of infantry under the effects of the platoon command squads, first rank fire, second rank fire, and then the Hellhound knocked off, a good half of this unit, actually a little bit more than half of this squad of Hormigons. With the help of the Medusa, who attempted to wipe out this squad of warriors in one shot, but scattered and just knocked out Griblies. The auto cannon turret thingy from the Aegis defense line right there put a wound on the flying Hive Tyrant. And then the rest of the shooting, rattling snipers up there, and the Lehman Russ right here managed to put a total of 3 wounds onto the Hive Tyrant, and then the rest of the shooting was just into these Griblies down here, which was fairly ineffective. So that was it for our turn. We'll be back at the end of Tyranid turn 1. Turn 1 for the Tyranids. Everything pretty much rushed forward on this side. Nothing rushed forward on that side. The Hive Tyrant is gliding now, and he has iron arms and whatever biomancy power it is that gives him it will not die. he didn't shoot anything. The warriors shot into this squad with a barbed strangler, took out 2, I think, and they failed their pinning test horribly. And then failed to do anything else. The barbed strangler on this side shot in over here, but cover saves held. That was it for shooting. In the Trigon Prime managed to get through difficult terrain into an infantry squad, who managed to get 2 wounds with crack grenades, but then just died horribly when they got et up on the retreat. So that was it. We'll be back at the end of turn 2 for the Imperial Guard. End of IG turn 2. The Valkyrie is still off the table, along with the veterans inside it. In the movement phase, this Hellhound over here just kind of slid away from the Hive Tyrant. The Leman Russ on this side turned around to face this whole carpet of things that was here. And that was pretty much it. Oh, and this Hellhound over here rushed back to this side of the table to help them mop up. In the shooting phase, a combination of the quad gun here, what else shot at the Hive Tyrant? Ratlings, who did amazingly well, and actually,
I think these guys too.
Who actually did most of it, and the Leman Rush, which did nothing. Combination of those 3 wiped out the Hive Tyrant. Then shooting from the platoon command squad, and what else shot at him?
That was it.
That was it. Oh, that's right. The platoon command squad managed to do amazingly well and wipe out the last wound on the Trigon Prime. Then the Hellhound, with the help of this platoon, or this squad of infantry, knocked the Hormagaunts on this side down to 2. The Medusa took out 2 of the warriors back here. Then, I think that was it. Oh, and then the Hellhound and the Leman Russ on this side managed to knock this squad of Hormagaunts down to 3. Then on this side of the table, the autocannons, which used Bring It Down from the company command squad, managed to put 5 wounds on the 2 warriors over here, and knock them down to just 1 remaining with 1 wound. And then the 2 squads of infantry on this side managed to knock out the 2 remaining Hormagaunts in this squad. Which brings in one of the special rules for the scenario we're playing, which is all of the attackers' troop choices, when they are removed from the table, go into active reserve and can be rolled for to come back onto the table. So Victor's going to be rolling for this squad of Hormagaunts over here to come back into the board. And I think that was it for my turn, so we'll be back at the end of Victor's turn 3. Tyranid turn 2. The reserves that came in were just the Young Girls, so it'll be Doom of Malantai and a Hormagaunt unit in reserve. Young Girls came out of this piece of terrain and ran up to right there at the foot of the wall. Shooting phase, there wasn't a lot, because there's not a lot of shooting on the board, just this one warrior here, who shot at my heavy weapon squad, scattered horribly, managed to wound just 1 person down here. I failed my save, and they were pinned again. Then in the assault phase, this unit of Hormagaunts right here attempted to assault the infantry platoon down here. Managed to roll high enough, but then I overwatched and they didn't quite make it in. The Young Girls, on the other hand, did easily make it into close combat with this infantry squad and munched it horribly. So that was it. We'll be back at the end of turn 3 for the Imperial Guard. IG turn 3, And if you look at the board, you might be thinking that the Tyranids lost and they're all gone. But you're wrong. They're still fighting. For the purposes of this scenario, the attacker cannot be table. Because, let's face it, the Tyranid hordes are endless. And they just keep coming. So, Victor in reserve right now has 3 squads of Hormagaunts, 2 squads of warriors, and a Doom of Malantai ready to suck brains. But basically in my turn, the Hellhounds, which are ridiculously amazing, managed to knock out the Yum Girls, and really just everything else on this side just mopped up these units. So, actually I was throwing crazy firepower at like 3 Hormagaunts, a Medusa, and 2 Lehman Russes, and a quad gun, and that a lot. Rattling snipers pretty much just killed the one warrior by themselves. But yeah, that's it. So we'll be back at the end of Victor's turn 3.
Yes.
After he brings in a whole nother army. Turn 3 for the Tyranids. The Doom came in along with all 3 squads of Hormagaunts and a squad of warriors. Shooting-wise, the warriors' Barbed Strangler knocked out 1 Rattling, and they, again, failed their King Penning test with a double 6. Again. This is the 3rd time. The Doom popped out, and in the shooting phase, had 4 units in his 6-inch blast, and did nothing. He managed to cause 1 wound because of the leadership on the Rattlings, but they passed their cover save.
Yes.
So they didn't do well. That being said, I think that's actually just the one Rattling was the one loss.
And then everybody else just moved.
And everybody else just kind of ran forward. So we'll be back at the end of turn 4 for the IG. Okay, turn 4, Imperial Guard. Another really good turn, actually. The Valkyrie turned and moved over this direction. The Hellhounds both hightailed it to this end of the board again. Up on top, there was some general shuffling around with the Rattlings and the Heavy Weapon Squad and the Company Command Squad, so they were outside of 6 inches of the Doom. Then in the shooting phase, the Doom's power went off and sucked... Well, 1 wound was caused over here, but I saved it with my cover save. Then shooting, the Company Command Squad, 1st rank fired, 2nd rank fired on this squad. And they shot the Doom and did nothing. And then they twin-linked the Rattlings, who put 1 wound on one of the warriors over there. Actually, I don't think I shot with my Heavy Weapon Squad, but whatever. The Rattlings shot. The veterans popped out, and with their flamers and their shotguns, put a huge dent in this squad of Hormagaunts that was here. I think they killed 14 of them.
Yeah.
I mean, it was ridiculous. It was really great. And then this squad here finished them off. The Lehman Russ, the Hellhound, and the Valkyrie all shot at the Hormagaunt squad over here and managed to knock them down to 2, just outside of Synapse range, and they ran off the table. And then the Lehman Russ and the Hellhound on this side put a large dent in this Hormagaunt squad here. And the Medusa, with its Strength 10 pie plate, managed to put 1 wound, well, 1 insta-death wound on the warriors. So that was it. We'll be back at the end of turn 4 for the Tyranids, and Victor will have 3 squads to come in. 3 squads to come in from reserve. Tyranid turn 4.
Yes.
Both units of Hormagaunts and the warriors are in. The Doom, if you can see him down there, I don't know if you can. There he is, standing up, silhouetted against the Lehman Russ. Moved underneath to take full advantage of his frickin' brain-sucking power. In the shooting phase... Oh yeah, movement basically, as you see, that's where they moved. In the shooting phase, the brain-sucking power went off and did nothing. Absolutely nothing. Everybody passed their leadership, which was ridiculous. Then the pie plate from the barbed strangler of the warrior squad that came in knocked out 6 of my veteran squad, neutering the unit quite effectively, actually, with no flamethrowers now. And then that was it. In the assault phase, these 2 units, the warriors and the Hormagaunts, attempted to assault the rest of the veterans, but with so many of them dead, they just couldn't roll high enough to get there. So that was it. We'll be back at the end of turn 5 for the Imperial Guard. Okay. Turn 5 wrap-up, in general. On my turn, the IG turn, the Hellhound and... No, pretty much just the Hellhound. Put a whole heap of hurting over here on this small squad of Hormagaunts. Then the Bleeman Russ and this Hellhound basically wiped out this whole front squad, this squad here of Hormagaunts, knocked them down to 5 models. And then, with the help of the orbital barrage from the Master of Ordnance. Then underneath the Doom, we shot this squad and this heavy weapon squad and the platoon command squad with the help of the quad gun and this Punisher, and we knocked the Doom down to 1 wound left, but we couldn't quite get that last wound. And that was pretty much it. Almost knocked out a whole unit of Hormagaunts. Almost finished off this one. Knocked out a warrior with the Ratlings. And I think that was it.
Right.
Then the Doom finally got his brain-sucking powers on in Victor's turn 5. In Victor's turn, everything moved up. And the Doom started sucking brains, and he sucked almost the entirety of this squad. 6 wounds from this squad. 4 wounds from the infantry platoon squad, or the platoon command squad, leaving just the commander. 1 wound from no wounds from the command squad, but another 2 Ratlings.
Yes.
And then he pie-plated the remains of this infantry squad and forced them to flee. And then I think that was it.
That was it.
That was pretty much it. So the objectives for this game, the way they worked, is the attacker got 1 point for every unit in the defender's zone and 1 kill point per squad destroyed, as well as the 3 standard from all the other missions. So Victor ended up with a total of 6. Defender got 1 kill point per squad defeated, and the standard 3, which gave me a total of 12. So fairly sound victory for the Imperial Guard, but I think we're going to rework this scenario just a little bit to try and even it up. It seemed like this was heavily weighted towards the defender,
right?
Or at least a little weighted towards the defender,
right?
So we're gonna work on it and see it again, but at the moment, healthy victory for the Imperial Guard.
Yeah.